Hello, everybody. It's Negasonic here, and today I'm going to be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck showcase just because I need to get something out of my system, and I figure, why not? I like this game. It's great. It allows you to play with people online, and it's probably better than Legacy of the Duelist. So I figure, why not? And you can actually use cards from the anime, which is freaking amazing. Anyway, let's get started. So, first up is the Amazonas deck. This is the one I generally use if I'm pissed off about something or I just need a concisive win. I've got the two Amazonas queens here, which are really powerful, and then I've got Paladin, which is pretty awesome. I've got this one, which is just great. This Chainmaster is pretty powerful actually, even though you have to give up 1,500 life points for its effect. But it's pretty powerful, and if they just so happen to have a monster that just happen to have a really powerful effect, hello, goodbye from his hand, and hello to my hand, and then there you go. And then, well, I've got all these, and I don't really. I mean, I mean, Amazon's Archer's ability is okay, but this is kind of like a basic thing. This is like for beginners, in my opinion. And then you've got Princess, and then you've got the only beast monster here, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, and aside from Baby Tiger, and it becomes Amazon's Tiger while it's on the field or in the graveyard, which is pretty good. Then you've got the two polymerizations. I've got a Fusion Recovery and a Fusion Sage just for that kind of emergency, like if I need it, I just so happen to grab it. And then I've got Diffusion just in case, so I don't know, something happens and I need to split off my monsters. And then, well, I've got Banner just to boost attack. And then Fighting Spirit is pretty good, and if you put two out, it's pretty nice. Heirloom, yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good effect actually. And then you got Village, which is pretty good. I mean, it's not a very big attack boost, but it's still decent enough. And then, well, Shamanism is you destroy all face-up Amazoness monsters you control, and then you can special any number of level 4 or lower Amazoness monsters from your graveyard in defense position, outside the number of monsters that were destroyed by that. But if I happen to have Amazoness Queen, or let's see, Amazoness Empress, it can't be destroyed, so none of my monsters will be destroyed, so that's kind of useless. And then Half or Nothing is probably one of my favorite cards in the game because it forces them to make a choice. And then Queen's Pawn I've never really used. Confusion Chaff is only if I have no monsters actually on the field. And then I've got Dramatic Rescue, which is, I wish that was not just for Amazonas, for just in general. And then I've got Willpower, which is okay. And then I've got Onslaught, which I don't know what it does. I'm not going to bother reading it. And I've got 6 fusion monsters. I've got 3 Amazoness Empresses. And I really like Empress. And then I've got Pet Liger. It's pretty good. And then, much to my dismay, when I was building this deck, I needed some variety, so I figured, why not? So I pumped out a couple XE monster cards that were not broken in that sense. This one actually, Finisher, is actually really good. And let's see. Yeah, I do have some level 3s, thank goodness. And then this one, it can be good, especially if you're playing piercing damage monsters. This helps against that. And then I've got a Rebellion XE Dragon, which is good for a lot of things. And then I've got Time Thief, which is, I haven't used this before, so I don't know exactly what it does. And I've got 2 I got, yeah, 3 warrior XE monsters that are level 6 that I need. And then this one just kind of makes me upset because I should move it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to test it out and see if it works. But it's offset because of its effect. Any battle damage your opponent takes is half for the rest of the turn, which is it's a good cost in my opinion. All right, so moving on. Anti-XZ deck. That one's still in the works. Blackwing Master. I'm not going to show that off because that's just kind of a niche in my opinion. Now, this is the Triple D Fiend deck, and I've got most of the pendulum monsters and Double D and Triple D monsters you see from the show, and I really like this deck because this is the deck I usually play against bots, and I usually win unless something bad happens. I've got 1-for-1, which is a really good card. Cost down is pretty good. Double summon I always like. It's kind of the thing I always run. Now, Upstart and Gold Sarcophagus, because you're only limited to 1 as of these rules, I try to make sure I get at least Gold Sarcophagus in once. The fact that your opponent gets 1,000 life points when you activate this card, I don't know how I feel about that. Called by the Grave is pretty good when it's used properly. And then I've got this just in case I need to do something specific. I've got 2 Dark Contracts with the Gate, which lets me add a Double D monster from my deck to my hand. And then during my standby phase, I would take 1,000 damage. But thanks to Oracle King Dark, I don't take any damage. I actually take that damage as life points, which is great. And then I've got this one has specific effects, and I can fusion someone without using polymerization, which is why I don't have polymerization. In fact, I have 6 monsters here that can fusion summon if they're either in my hand or in the graveyard, which is great. And then Yami I just put in because I needed the attack boost. Now, oops, hold on one second. Sorry. Alright, so this one, this is okay. Defense draw is only when I don't have any monsters on the field and I need to stop an attack, like a 4,000 attack monster or doing a crap ton of damage to me. This one, this is good. This is a really good card. I like this. I haven't used this card in a while, so I don't remember how good it is. Reroll is pretty good because it protects my Dark Contract cards. Curse of Royal. This is an absolute must if somebody is running Dark Cosmic or Mystical Space Typhoon. It's just really good. I like it. Trapper Board Eraser. That is something special that I only used once, and it was against a bot. Judgment of Anubis. Love this card. It's perfect for me. This is because I don't like Mystical Space Typhoon and those kind of cards that destroy. Like, if somebody runs a Harpy Feather Duster, I can pop this. It doesn't work. And it works perfectly for me. Alright. Now this one is the one. Dragons PvP is the one I use for. I use it for when I'm going up against people online. And this is probably my most developed deck. Now, I don't know why I have 3 Pendulum monsters in here, but I do, and that's fine with me. And most of these monsters are level 8s, I think. Yeah, most of them are level 8s. And they all have a special effect, which is pretty freaking awesome. The only one I would probably get rid of is maybe Kaiser Seahorse. Or maybe Dragon Knight of Creation. And I'd probably put in another Keeper of the Shrine in here. Now, I love my tuners because I'm a synchro person. And the only reason I have King of the Swamp is because I don't want to put Polymerization in. So I put Spiral Fusion in, which is great because Five-Headed Dragon is pretty much my ace card, along with Divine Lord, Dragon Lord, Felgrand, which is freaking awesome. Return of the Dragon Lords. Very good against most things, including Mirror Force, I found out. Cost down, must have. Spiral Fusion, really good. Really, really good. Flute of Summoning Dragon only can be used if I have Lord of D, but since I have King of D, it lets me, and it's because it becomes Lord of D while it's on the field, I can use this, which is great. Melody of Awakening Dragon is awesome. I like that. I use that all the time, or I use it for a discard effect if I need to. Card Advance, must have, especially for me. And the extra Tribute Summon is really nice too. It's too bad it's not an extra normal summon, but whatever. Dragon Revival Rhapsody, that's good if I have a spellcaster type monster on my field. And then I have Gold Sarcophagus, obviously. And I have Monster Reborn. Now, this is the first time I've ever actually put Monster Reborn in a deck, because it could be really strong, but it can also be really painful because you never know what's going to happen. Pot of Duality, really like. It's good for drawing effect. I wish I had Pot of Greed, but I'm not going to put Pot of Greed in. Burial, that's just in case somebody's pulling a banishing effect and I need to bring back some monsters. Silver's Cry is good for bringing back a Blue Eyes. I have 3 Blue Eyes. And I've got Card Trader just in case I get a bad hand or I get a bad card and I can't summon it. Van Stone is pretty good, actually. I haven't had a chance to test this out, so just bear with me on that. Mausoleum White, if you've ever seen the live scripted duel Yugi versus Kaiba, he actually uses this, and he uses both effects, which is really not. This is a really powerful card, especially in a dragon deck. Waking the Dragon is awesome. Like, if this ever gets destroyed, I could literally bring out Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or I could bring out Five-Headed Dragon, or I could bring out Star Eater, or I could bring out almost any of my extra deck monsters, which is just awesome. Stardust Mirage, that's I do have Stardust Dragon. That's good there. Stardust Respark. I love Stardust Dragon. That's why I kind of put these, and I used a lot of Yusei's cards. Dragon's Rebirth is actually Jack Atlas's card. It's pretty powerful, actually. Miracle's Wake, always have to have that in some capacity. I love this card. Defense Draw, obviously. Rainbow Life, if I'm ever backed into a corner, that's what I use. Mystical Rough Panel, Yuki actually used this card. Now, I haven't been able to use it because a lot of the bots I face, they don't use cards that target just a single player, so I haven't had a chance to test this out yet, but when I do, it's going to be very satisfying. Draining Shield, great for when you need to get back into the game, or you need to get your foot in the door. Curse of Royal, obviously a very must-have. 7 Tools of the Bandit. This is one I think everybody should run in their deck. It's such a great card. Sure, you're giving up 1,000 life points, but if that saves your monster from a Mirror Force or some kind of attack counter card, I say it's worth it. Okay, so I've got Five-Headed Dragon, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and I've got Neo Blue Eyes. This is pretty cool, actually. Star Eater is probably It's probably the most powerful synchro monster in the game by far, because it's unaffected by pretty much every trap I can think of. Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend is hard to get out, but it's it's such a good card when you get a monster when you bring it out. This one, sorry, okay, yeah, that one. This one is pretty powerful if you can actually get it out. This one, Azure Eyes, is used to protect other dragons or my field mostly. Spirit Dragon, I usually don't bring out unless I really have to. This one, I don't think I have any Dark Tuner, so I have to replace that. Stardust Dragon and Stardust Spark Dragon are my two. They're my heavy hitters actually. And then I've got Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. This is the one XE monster that I actually like because of its effect. And then I've got a Link monster, which I still haven't figured out what this one does, so just bear with me on that. And then now I have my other dragon deck, which is mainly used to go up against bots. And here I have Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This is the best card I have ever put in a deck. And that's saying something. And now obviously I have no XE monsters in this one. I've got 4 Link monsters, which I have to really look into because I want to change this out because I want to put at least one XE monster in, so I'm not over specialized. And I've got Pot of Greed, obviously. I've got Dragon's Mirror, just in case I want to bring out one of my Blue Eyes fusion monsters. But I'm mostly a synchro. It's mostly a synchro extra deck. That's the majority anyway. I gotta hit the sword because I've got a keeper in the shrine that was over here. I actually might. Why do I have Stargazer Magician? Why do I have Stargazer Magician in here? All right. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. All right. Fright for Fusion. I'm just working on, so it needs a little work. The Jaden Yuki Hero is probably my weakest deck. Magician, this is for bots. So everything that is for Yugi and his deck is here, and it's great. And I really like, and I've actually got a God card, thank goodness. I was going to put in Slifer or Mega Ultra Chicken, but I decided against it. And I don't think I can get Goyo Guardian out, but I can sure as hell try. And of course, it's all spellcasters mostly. I mean, you do have the Junk Changer, which is not a spellcaster, but that's okay. Now I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so we're back where we started again. Let's just go. Nope, not there. Sorry, one sec. All right, so Magician's already covered. I've got 3 XE monsters. I don't know why I have XE monsters in here, but I like Evenheim Magician quite a bit. I have 3 Link monsters, which I have no idea why I put them in, because I'm not a big fan of Link monsters. Alright, Neo Lunar Light. This is actually one of my favorite decks. And it's probably got the most out of the, what is it? It's probably the best fusion deck I have currently. And then I've got Performer Pal. This is a really strong deck, which my ace cards are Odd-Eyes Pendulum and Odd-Eyes Lancer, but the 2 big ones that I really like are Performer Pal King Bear, and where is it? Which one is it? Performer Pal Odd-Eyes Unicorn. These 2 are really good, and that one's actually pretty good. And then they're pendulum monsters because pendulum is so powerful. Like, it's ridiculous how powerful it is. I've got 2 fusion cards just because but I have Trump Girl to help me out with that. I've got Odd-Eyes Venom Dragon. I don't know why I have that, but it's a work in progress. Runai's Pendulum Dragon is pretty good. Formpel Odd-Eyes Metal Claw. That's actually a really strong card. Gatling Ghoul, haven't found much use for him. Starring Venom Fusion Dragon is pretty powerful, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Vortex Dragon. Actually, that's probably the strongest card I have in this deck. And then I've got a couple of Synchro monsters. And then I've got Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon, which is really powerful. And then Dark Rebellion XD's Dragon. No idea why I have this particular card in this deck, because not a lot of my monsters are level 4s. At least I don't think so. Let me just check. Yeah, these are 6s. That's a 6. That's a 6. Most of these are high levels, but I do have a couple, I think. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Plants I'm going to skip over. Red Eyes Pure. This is mainly just because taking advantage of most of the Red Eyes monsters you can use. And I really like Flare Metal Dragon. And I don't know why I have all these Link monsters, so I'm going to have to go through that eventually. But the big highlight is probably Light Force Sword, because you can shove a sword through a person's card. And it is hilarious to pull off. I don't know why I have Pendulum Call in here, because... Oh, it's for these two. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm just a little bit tired. Red Eye Zombie is pretty much the same thing, except it's what's the word? It's zombies. Signer Dragon I don't bother with. I don't know why I have that. Super Heavy Samurai. This was actually a really fun deck. So, if you can get out, which one is it? Oh yeah, you can do Steam Train King. That's a pretty good one too. What you do is then you get Steam Train King out. You can if you do, it's like, oh, that's powerful. And then what you can do is do that, and you put 2 D2 shoots down. You basically have an impenetrable defense because of the effect of most Super Heavy Samurai monsters. And this is a pretty good card too. The only one I'm not a big fan of is there's a lot of equip monsters, but I can work around that. And the only spell cards I have are Gaia Power, which is Field. It plays into the Earth thing. Cards of Sanctuary gives 500 defense points to all defense position monsters by 500, which is great. Because these are machines, I like machine assembly line. But it gives them 200 attack. That's the only thing. But its other effect is pretty good too. Gold Sarcophagus, obviously. Now, the only thing is, this is mostly, there's very little in the way of, okay, there it is. There's very little in the way of, like, you can't run regular spell and trap cards. The only reason I have Cursor Royal is because Cursor Royal is my ace in the hole if I ever need it, and Battle Ball is pretty cool too, actually. Let's see. Supreme King, I'm not going to bother with. Ultimate Magician is mainly just for PvP. Vampire, I don't play at all. I have to get rid of that. Warrior Incarnate, is actually my most unique deck because it's mostly warriors, and I've got my ace monster is probably either Gearfried the Swordmaster or Buster Blader. Now, you may be wondering why. Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. Sorry. You may be wondering why I have 2 elemental hero monsters. That's because of Hero Barrier, and I really like Hero Barrier. And also, I want to get a fusion. I want to get Neos Knight in here somehow, but I'll have to work on that later. It's mostly warriors for obvious reasons. It's just too bad I don't have any Blackluster soldiers in here. That would be amazing, actually. Okay. Yosenju, it's a unique deck. It's pretty cool. It's awesome. My Yusei Ultima, which is the one I actually got. Hang on. Okay. Which is the one I actually got. Like, I copied off a wiki and. Okay, Talisman in reverse. Huh. Okay. So this one I copied it from the wiki that I found. I'll put that in the description, don't worry. And it takes advantage of the fact that you have like low level monsters, and because Yusei tends to run a lot of speed spells, I can't run speed spells, so he runs a lot of trap cards. But I put spell cards in here to kind of balance that out because I don't want to be a trap heavy deck. And the big highlights for the Singer monsters are Nitro Warrior, which is really cool, and I have Junk Anchor, which is right here. It can substitute that for any Synchron tuner, which is great. The other big one, where is it? Junk Garna is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm really tired. Sorry about that, guys. Lightstream Dragon. I have to get rid of that, honestly, and I have to get rid of Power Tool Dragon because I have no equip cards. Red Dragon Archfiend, really fun. Shady Quasar Dragon, pretty good. It needs Formula Synchron in order to work out. And then, why do I have Shooting Star Dragon TG expansion though? That's weird. And obviously I've got Stardust Dragon. And Junk Collector is pretty cool. That actually is probably one of my favorite cards out of all my decks. This is the one that I have never run this, so I don't know how effective it is, but it's such a great card. I've got a Millennium Shield just because I want a normal monster. Alright, sorry about the weird cut there, guys. So, going back to what I was saying, this is a really strong deck, and I just recently put this deck in, so. Okay, and then the last 2 decks, Yusei version 2. This one is kind of meh because I don't play it a lot and it's very circumstantial. Like, there's a lot of there's a lot of very specific cards that I use in here, and I don't know why I have this card, Auto Synchron. I have no idea why. I have to really go through all of them and just kind of fix everything. And then finally, my pride and joy, which I put a lot of time and energy into, I have my Ultimate Yuya Sakaki deck. And this one is particularly special because there's a lot of Pendulum monsters, there's maybe 2 fusion, right? And all of the cards actually play into each other. So I've got Odd Revolution Dragon, which has the highest um, pendulum scale. And then I have Phantasma Dragon, which is pretty awesome. And since if I put these two out, the only thing is I cannot pendulum summon except for dragon monsters. So there's not a lot of dragon monsters in my deck, so I have to be wary of that. And then I've got Advanced Dragon, which is, you may have seen that before in my other decks, but it's a really strong card and I like it. And then I've got Lancer Dragon. I've got most of the Odd Eyes Dragons. I believe it's Xiong K Magician. Is that how you pronounce it? This is a good card because, especially for its pendulum effect, you can turn a XC monster's rank into a level, which is really strong. And then I've got Supreme King Gate Infinity and Supreme King Gate Zero. These two are probably the most broken pendulum monsters I know of. Hammer. Actually, this is amazing. Like, most of these counter most of the major traps. The only thing is I don't have Curse of Royal. That's the only thing I don't have. King Bear, my favorite pendulum monster when you actually get it out. Oath Dragon Magician, don't know why I have this, but it's a decent card. It's got decent attack. Its pendulum effect is pretty good. Drummerilla, I really like this card because you can put this out if you have it early, and its level becomes 4, which is fine, and it gives itself an attack boost when it's being attacked or it attacks itself, which is pretty good. Persona Dragon, I'm not sure, I don't run this a lot. I usually run it at defense, or I use it as a tribute, or I discard it mostly. Stargazer, that's fine. Salute Tiger, it's great for adding, like, say, like a Perform Pal Friend Donkey or something similar. Just a Perform Pal card in general. Or specifically a Pendulum monster from my deck, which is great. White Wing Magician is one of the few tuners I actually have, believe it or not. The only thing is, it gets banished when it goes when it's used for a Synchro Summon. Minotaurus, I actually don't know what this does. I'll have to look into that. Help Princess. Its effect is pretty good, actually. It really plays into the unity that all the monsters here have. Uni is okay. Skeeter Skimmer is actually pretty powerful. Xiong Magician, when used with, say, Stargazer Magician or Xiong K Magician, you can pull off some crazy stuff with this. Friend Donkey is pretty good. The only thing with Xiong Magician is that if you control more cards than your opponent does, its scale becomes 4, which is not very helpful. Timebreaker Magician, I mainly just use this as, like, to get a synchro monster out, or for a tribute of some kind, or to use as bait. Time Gazer Magician, I haven't found a lot of uses for him. Artist Mirage Dragon, a pretty strong card. Haven't used a lot of him though. Fire Muffler Lion, it's okay. Hippo is actually pretty fun. It's a pretty fun card. Okay. Corn, don't see a lot of this. I just generally put this in face down usually. It's kind of to draw somebody out. Synchron, as I said before, it's a good tuner card. And I believe if it's put in the pendulum scale, you can actually it's any you can target a perform pal or audience monster you control, and it is treated as a tuner, and its level becomes 1, even if this card leaves the field, which is alright. That works for me. Trump Girl, good for fusion summoning. I do have 2 fusion spells here, but that's fine. I like running Karibos, so that's what I usually run. Audi's Unicorn, I usually supplement that in place of Time Gazer Magician. Usually, if I don't have a monster that has high enough, or I don't have Supreme King Gates Infinity. And then finally, Tuning Magician is another good tuner. Its effect is kinda the 2 fusion spells, I have Performance Hurricane, which is really good because if you have like 4 or 5 Perform Pal monsters on the field, you can get rid of an entire field almost. Pendulum Call, I usually to get Stargazer Magician and either Xiangsheng Magician or a different magician entirely. Probably maybe Trump Girl, I don't know for sure. Gold Sarcophagus, obviously. Spiral Flame Strike. Its 2 effects are actually really strong, and I like it quite a bit. Monster Reborn, I use the offset version of this, just in case I need a miracle. Soul Pendulum. You can actually change the pendulum scales of to go either up or down, and that's really strong. Gerenic Cedar is pretty good. It's an attack boost for each monster you control with a different type, which is pretty good because a lot of these monsters are different types. Like you got Beast, and you've got Beast Warrior, you've got Spellcaster, you got Dragon, which is pretty good. Revival, it's basically like kind of like a Miracle's Wake for Perform Pals. Commander of Swords, this is cruel, but when you play this deck, you're not being nice. You're being cruel sometimes. Perform Pal Call, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Rainbow Life, obviously 2 Draining Shields, just because. Wall Disruption, I don't usually run this, but I like it quite a bit. It's great. Pendulum Reborn is it's quite fun when you can pull it off. Command Performance, this is basically, I think it's kind of like a negate attack, but it's got other things that work with it. Last minute cancel. It's, instead of sending it to the graveyard, it goes back to your hand. Pendulum Switch, you can, like, if I have, like, say, a Pendulum Dragon and, say, Timebreaker Magician, I can bring out I can use the pendulum itself, and I can basically just put something in the scale, and then I can use this and bring it out. At the same time, if I want to bring out, say, like someone who has, like, if I need to put monster in my pendulum zone because I'm lacking, and I already have, like, say, Unicorn, or say, Phantasma Dragon or something, I can pull this off, and it's pretty fun. Anyway, so extra deck. Venom Dragon, don't have a lot to say about that. Runai's Pendulum Dragon, already talked about it. Basically, up until Azurai Silver Dragon, which is the one card I don't usually run. Because you need a normal monster, actually, if I remember correctly. Audai's Wing Dragon. You need a Dark Tuner and a Clear Wing monster. That's why I have Clear Wing Single Dragon. And then you have Audai's Rebellion Dragon, which is pretty powerful, actually, especially its pendulum effect. Okay, Raging Dragon, already talked about it. Absolute Dragon. I don't know. I like this card, but I don't run it enough. 2 level 4 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon is a good card. I don't give this card enough praise. Supreme King Dark Dragon Dark Rebellion. This one's kind of a weird one, actually. I don't know if I have any Dark Pendulum monsters, but same effect, but I usually run it in the Supreme King deck. That's the only thing. Alright, anyway guys, that's it for the showcase. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.